Welcome back to this episode of Art or Rake. We have two videos out. I plan on releasing a quality video every Tuesday morning. I am going to fill in with some raw little videos, probably in between, probably maybe a Thursday or Friday. We'll see how that goes. My producer, Manny, has to teach me how to splice things together. So those will be more how-tos, more like candid one-to-one videos. Nothing fancy. He'll still be doing my quality videos, but I'd like to put out another one that's just kind of rougher and raw and just you and me. That's it. So my first how-to is going to be on how I treat my photo etch. So we're going to do, I did it on Facebook. I did like a mini tutorial and a couple photographs, but I really want to show you how I do my photo etch and what procedure I go through to do that. Now I do use photo etch. I don't use, like, when I get a sheet for a car, I don't use the whole sheet. For me, my building style, less is more. So I use photo etch, but I don't get crazy with it. I don't use, like, to me, photo etch is kind of one dimensional. And like some of the grills and stuff, they just don't look two dimensional for me. And so some of that stuff I don't use. Not that you can't use it, or, a lot of guys use all the stuff. I just don't. A, because some of it, I don't know how to use it. And B, I just like clean and simple. That's kind of my style. So, but we are going to do a good how-to as far as how I treat it. And hopefully it's such a subtle thing, and it can really improve the look, especially in photography. A lot of my stuff, I lean towards how it photographs. If you see, I've been in a couple magazines with photographs, and if you look at the photograph of my model car, I tend to want it to look more real than have everything working on it. I think it's a fine line between getting everything working on it and still have that real car look. Sometimes they tend to look, to me, toyish, but that's just me. I know if you're going to a judge show, you want to have all that stuff. You want to, have everything opening and stuff like that. But for me and my style, I'm more like N&L style. I go for a look. If it looks good on the table, or, mine don't work. Everything doesn't open up on them and stuff. It's just not my style of building. But, knock yourself out if you're into that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about adding shadows to photo etch to look at more three-dimensional. To me, when you just put photo etch on raw, even if you polish it, it still just looks like photo etch, one-dimensional. So what I do is I add a black shadow around it, and it makes it stand out more and makes it look more three-dimensional, like a real emblem would be. So I use acrylic flat black, and you can use anything you want, enamel, it doesn't matter. I use, right now I'm using Tamiya flat black acrylic, but you can use anything. You can spray it if you want to. I just brush it on and then let it dry. So these already have the black put on them. I don't know if you can see there. I have it on a white background so you can kind of see it. So there I have it ready to sand. This is some old photo etch, so that's the Cutlass logo. So you can see that it's got black on it. These particular ones, these are little Cadillac medallions. They have many different colors in there with toothpicks. They're ready to sand and clean up. And then I have these over here, which are already sanded and polished to some degree. I just use this polishing cloths. Like I use like 3600. Some guys polish them and stuff. I don't necessarily do that, but I don't know if you can see that or not. And then here's some tiny little 3/27. And then once I got them polished like this, I put them on the back of like masking tape, and I don't press them down. I just kind of have them laying there. What this does is when you go to cut these off with your knife, you can actually see the little tabs because you painted them black. You can actually see where they're at. So that just makes it easier to cut the tabs off. Now, one thing I do want to show you, and I already drilled this one out, anytime I'm sanding and prepping a body to paint, and I know I'm going to use photo etch, I will pre-drill out like the keyhole and stuff, door handles. If I'm shaving off, now this is a race car, but if I was shaving off the door handle and I'm using an aftermarket door handle or a chrome door handle that I have, I would drill out right where the keyhole would go and also where the button of the door handle would go. So I have a place, I know where that's going to be centered or where it should go. And then when I do that, I always brass pin all my pieces. So if I have a spoiler or a hood scoop, or I'm putting mirrors on it, or if I'm doing door handles, I'm gonna brass pin them so that they have a definite spot for them to go in. And then I'll use 5-minute epoxy, or sometimes I'll use, well, the pin stuff I'll use 5-minute epoxy. Some of the little logos that we're gonna put on here, I might use just some old-fashioned enamel, clear enamel. But I'll take my toothpick, and since I already have a hole there, I can actually, you know, put epoxy right in the hole. And then when I go to put on my photo etch, it's got, you know, it's already got a spot. You won't get glue all over the place, but you already have a spot there. You know it's gonna go, and you just need to put the photo etch in and just tweak a little bit and get it in position. So we're gonna sand this piece here just to show you how that works. And then we're going to attempt to put some of this on the car so you can get a visual on what that looks like. Sometimes you don't notice that until you see a photograph or something. I mean, and it really shows up on these lighter color cars. But even dark color cars, I still do this method to it. It just cleans the photo etch up a little bit. It doesn't make it look so thick. So I'm going to stop this, and we're gonna try and do that. So I have a piece of 3600 sanding cloth, and I'm just going to put a little flat piece of wood in there, and I'm not even going to make it wet unless I have to. Usually I can get away with just doing it like this. And we're just going to sand on top of there. And I can't see, of course, because I'm old. But I'm going to come back. I'm going to sand this off, and then we'll show the next step. Okay, so I've already cut my tabs off because you can see them really well because they're black. And I'm also going to cut this one that I didn't do so we can compare. And then since I just stuck this on this tape lightly, I'm just going to, you know, pull this off like so. Okay, so number one, I didn't lose my part because some of these things get really tiny. And number two, you can see the difference already. You can see how that has a little bit of depth to it. Look at the difference between regular photo etch and that little natural shadow on there. Doesn't that look nice? I don't even need to put that on the car. You can see the difference right there. See how different that looks? It actually makes the lettering look finer to me than not having it on there. And I do that to mostly everything. It just makes it look so nice on a car in this scale. Okay, so I have my two emblems, and I actually did a keyhole. I'm gonna put that on the bottom. I can't do this on camera. I can't see. I gotta look through a magnifier to do this. So I'm gonna attach it, and I'll show you the final result after I'm done with it, so you can really see it on the car. Check this stuff out. This stuff's really old. Look how yellow that is. Also, I label all my jars. I put what they're on the top of them, what it is. Now, I use a color code system. White, back, circle. It's just a label. That means that's enamel. My acrylics I have in neon green. And my lacquers I have in yellow. So I know when I pick up the jar, you know, without me trying to read this little label, what color it is and stuff like that. So we're going to attempt to, of course, let me zoom out of this a little bit. There, now my hands don't look like they're jumbo hands. So we're just going to take a Q-tip, or Q-tip, a toothpick. We're going to dip it in there a little bit. And then we're just going to throw it in the hole. All right, and then we're going to attempt to pick that up. And just sit that on there. Of course, I got glue everywhere, but you get the idea. It just has a little tiny little black shadow around it. Now I'm inspired. Let's do the cutlass ones. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to turn it off for a minute. All right. Regular photo etch on the left. Black shadow on the right. Now I know I got glue everywhere. I just threw it on there just so you see the contrast of the logos. See how much different that looks? To me, that just looks 100% better. And that's such a minute detail. So fine a detail when you're building a car. So that's it. My first how-to video. Hopefully that wasn't too painful, that it's not too shaky. But that's what I wanted to show you, and it's very easy to do. If you're already using photo etch, it's a great way to using the tape to get it off and keep it so it doesn't fly over the place and lose it. It'll actually accent your model. Drilling those holes gives you a reference point of where to put anything that you're putting on your body. I didn't straighten out that keyhole either, but because I can't see. I have to use my magnifying glass. So I might have to get a set of those headsets instead of using my big magnifier. But that's easy to do. Just a little fine detail that improve the quality of your model. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.